excited about, and we will get going. So we should have too, just as we get started, there should be an opportunity for a question and answer part down on the side, and we will be able to activate that and answer things, and we will follow back up with them just a little bit. But this is being recorded, and so we will be able to share with everyone and also kind of keep us going. So we're going to get started here. So welcome to the North Carolina Cyber Academy Elementary School for the 2022-23 school year. We have our new mission and vision. Our vision is to be a premier virtual school empowering students to lead, serve, and soar. And our mission is preparing students through personalized virtual learning for success in tomorrow's world. And this is something, the mission and vision and also our core values are all things that as a school community, we spent a lot of time on last spring of revising and working with families and staff and students even participated in the process, and our board and leadership teams in really looking at what do we want our school to be and how do we define our mission and our values. And our core values, which you will see come up through all the work and the updates that we've made, the exciting things that are in place for each and every one of you. Our core values are opportunities for all, willingness to grow, life readiness, and a supportive environment. And we're going to kind of emphasize that last S of owls because we are the cyber owls, but that last S there, a supportive environment. We know that there are new things in place. We have our new WebEx application that we are in right now. We have new systems that are in place. And so we are going to be very supportive as we learn and grow together, as we try different things and try ways, but it's all here and all focused on making sure that students are learning, that they are growing, and that they're having a great time as they're doing that, making them successful. And again, kind of coming back to that empowering students to lead, serve, and soar. And so really getting them ready for tomorrow's world. And so we are excited about what's in store for this year and all throughout as we work. So just a reminder too, hopefully you all have had a chance to complete the orientation, the parent orientation. I mentioned it a couple times. I have it in the slides a couple times because it is so important as we think about our that willingness to grow and that supportive environment. Is we want you all to have time to be able to work and get into the different systems and get set up and get working there. The next piece that we want to just do, this is our elementary staff. And so the staff came together on Monday. We all met in Raleigh, and this is your team that is here to support you. I know we have our K-2 families are the primary audience for this session right now. And because we have some unique things for you as kindergarten, first, and second grade families, we have just a great structure in place, and we wanted to be able to explain that without kind of having different things that overlap between the two, getting confusing. So we are really impressed. This group has grown. When I came on board a couple years ago, there was just a handful of elementary staff, and they each had 100 kids or more. And so now we have grown because we want to be able to provide those personalized learning experiences and be even more effective in the work that we are doing with you and the supporting your child as they learn, but you in that vital role as the learning coach and that work there. So we are excited along the way. So your teacher is probably in with this group. This is most everybody. There's actually a few more that weren't able to make it on Monday. So the next up is a slide that introduces our leadership team to you all, our elementary. It's myself. I'm Micah Copeland, the elementary principal. I'm right there on that. And then also we have Miss Pratt, and I'll give her a second to say hello if she wants to. I know we're kind of all new in how this system works.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Miss Pratt. I'm the assistant principal.
All right. And then also we are so excited to have Shelly Jones as the instructional coach to join us. It's a new role for us.
Hello, I'm Shelly Jones. I'm the instructional coach.
Awesome. So you get to put some names and faces, and we are here to support you all, support our teachers as they're doing great things and working so hard with students and really just focused on learning and growth and everything we have there. So again, kind of hitting back to some really high points as we go into it is smaller class sizes. And that is something that we are so excited about. You saw the number of staff that we have. We have a little over 750 students in the elementary school, and staffing is set up to where we're trying to keep it right around 25 to 30 in each section with our teachers. And so that is really exciting. And that's so much smaller than it's ever been here, and really smaller than a lot of models for virtual learning, because what we know is so very important is that relationship with the student, that relationship with each other. And we talked about in the other orientation that establishing that community of learners and the community to learn and grow and explore together. So we are really happy and pleased of the commitment of our board and the school to prioritize smaller class sizes, which is awesome. With that, we have core live learning Monday through Thursday. So that's what we'll get into. That is something that we really are focusing on, teachers and students working very closely together, being able to personalize for each other, being able to adapt what is happening, and how the class is learning and growing, and how individuals are learning and growing. And how we're going to be able to do that is the teachers and students working together, meeting together, and working alongside each other. To that end,
On the system.
there we go.
There we go.
In my back, all of a sudden everybody's pictures came back and everything else. So sorry about that, but I think it's trying to have fun recording and doing everything. So hopefully we are back. I know one of the things that I was share when it froze on my side is the updated curriculum. So as we use FlexPoint, the FlexPoint is designed for the model that we have as a school. And this really is something, we had teachers who were active. They were really active in terms of grabbing and researching what is going to be the best curriculum to support our students and to support them as they grow. And they came up with FlexPoint. And so we really are excited as we vetted that and worked through that. It's designed from the ground up for virtual teaching and learning, and for what we want and what we know and what families, what you have shared that you value, which is the opportunities to interact with teachers, the opportunities for students to interact with each other and to learn and grow together. And so as we transition to FlexPoint, we've also made transitions with our learning management system. And so we'll go through a little bit with Canvas and what you may see there and how all that will work. And then just to know as we make these changes and updates, they are significant. They are big shifts, but we are going to be learning and growing with them together. So there's not a ton of things that are going to be due Monday morning or anything like that. We're going to be spending time, and again, that supportive environment where our teachers are going to be working alongside each and every one of you as we get to know, as we get in and get working and building and establishing these positive learning routines, with the end goal being student success and all of our students learning and growing each and every day. So some other big shifts and changes that we have this year, this video conferencing tool, it allows us to do some really neat things to where we are able to set up webinars real easy, to set up different ways to where classes can launch straight from your calendar. You don't have to click on 5 different places to get into your live learning. It is all live. It will all be able to be launched through Canvas here and then into Cisco WebEx, where we're at right now. I know a lot of you have finished the orientation. So you see that, you've seen it live, you've got to have a chance to explore it a little bit, and you're in here with us right now today. This experience is similar to what your students will have, but they will be able to be much more interactive with their teachers and utilize the breakout rooms and other parts and other components that we have. But we also wanted to make sure that we were able to stay focused with our work today and make sure that we have a great way to continue to learn and grow together. So the next part, I think my little video just decided it didn't want to keep up with us. But the next piece is the schedule and the live lessons. So we do have a set schedule for students every day, Monday through Thursday. And so that is something that we're excited about. K-2, you have a morning class and then some time for independent work and some specialized instruction, and then an afternoon class. And we'll dig into that a little bit more. Our 3-5 students have a little bit different schedule, but they also have a little bit different structure with their teachers. We are so excited too for K-2. Your teachers, you have one teacher and one group of students that you will be with each and every day, which is awesome. And we are super excited about that. And adding in the social emotional learning, you'll see class time start at 8:45, and that just gives a chance for a morning meeting, a chance to kind of just check in, everybody get together, get to be moving and grooving a little bit with things there in the mornings. And then the time for instruction to really kick off and have plenty of time still for that core instruction. We know that it takes time to learn to read. It takes time as we work with math, but it also is so important as we address the social emotional needs for all of us, and especially our youngest learners, and all of us are learners in general. So we really want to make sure we have time dedicated for that, which we are excited about. So we do have that social emotional learning program, and that really is exciting components in each and every day getting started. And also the school counselors are going to be meeting with sections of students at a time too, once a week, really being able to build a curriculum, learn about so much. It's called Second Step. Learn about decision-making skills, all kinds of great components, their emotions and feelings and things. And so we really are excited about Second Step and our focus on educating the whole child and making sure that the whole child learns and grows throughout the course of the year and over their time with us. So I know I am extremely ecstatic about the updates and that we are making to better serve you, our stakeholders, and our students especially with things too. So, you know, this is a shift, and one of the shifts is to more synchronous instruction. And synchronous is together. So as students meet, and they meet in their live classes each day, they're going to meet with their teachers. The teachers are going to walk through and maybe use examples, have a mini lesson about the topic and the standard that is being covered, how to practice. Students may practice those activities. It's called a gradual release of responsibility. And so how that works is there's a starting point to where the concept is introduced, then there's a guided practice, and then independent practice. And so we really are excited about how the curriculum that we have now is designed for exactly how we know and believe students are going to learn best in a virtual setting. With that teacher right there, the groups are small, they're going to have that synchronous time. They're going to have that time. Those of you who've been with us years ago or in the asynchronous model, the live lessons were kind of supplementary. They might fill in gaps. That might be on something else and related to what was happening, but something else entirely. And now the lessons are going to tie right on into it. Students will start some of the assignments and probably even finish a lot of the assignments while they're in class together. They may have some follow-up reading activities. And again, because we know it takes time and energy for students to learn to read and to grow. All courses have will be taught synchronously, and they'll still be able to access them through their the Clever and learning portal that they have, and Canvas. Sorry, I said Clever. They all start with a C too. All courses except for PE will have that synchronous component each day. For K-2, the teachers will be embedding and working together with ELA and social studies, math and science, and so those will combine together with the emphasis really getting that core foundation in language arts and math and stretching that into science and social studies. PE is a course that we continue to offer to students. It is going to be taught asynchronously. So that will be one where you will have assignments, and those assignments will be completed asynchronously as you work and go. And so that will be something that you'll have a window of time to be able to do that at this point in time for PE. We really do want to make sure that we're focusing on getting into those learning routines, those learning habits. And again, this is every day, Monday through Thursday. Friday is an asynchronous day, and that is set up so that way staff are going to be completing completing work and professional development that they have in line, and also following up with individual students too. So following back up, and it may be that, hey, I need to talk with you. I'd like to meet with you on Friday to go through some specific pieces or follow up with some of the work that we've started. But that is what Friday is set up for our students. And all this still does provide great flexibility. All the synchronous sessions will be recorded. They will be available for students if for some reason that you have to miss it or kind of duck out a little bit early or something like that. But we want all of our students there the entire time, especially K-2. And that is something that we are starting with. I'm going to turn it over in a minute to Ms. Bryant, our from our central office, to talk about the engagement policy a little bit more, but it really does focus on getting our youngest learners started into the habit of learning together, learning and growing together, and making this such a wonderful time for them. So I'm going to keep clicking here. Whoops, sorry. So here's a sample of, it's just the generic. Your teachers will be sending out specific schedules for your class and what days everything fall and where it looks like for you. But this is what I talked about too. Just you have the morning instruction block and then some time to that power up time is time for follow up, maybe a specific group working on something. If that support is an extension opportunity this week or this time, or maybe it may be something to really work on that phonemic awareness or building itself or thinking and talking as a reader, the teachers are going to be able to really work with that time and have that ready to go for our students and to really work there. And sometimes it may just be also set up for, hey, this is an opportunity. We're going to do a more hands-on, activity with science or activity that we want to get outside and have a little bit longer block of time. And you'll have warnings and heads up about when all this will take place. And then that middle part of the day is there for continuing to complete assignments, to transition through that independent practice, to make sure, hey, we worked on this morning. Let's make sure we master this all the way through and that we've had that time to practice and complete what is happening. And also the PE block of time is built in there too. So you have blocks of time during the instructional day to have that, to also have lunch, and also for students who might have specifically targeted instruction. And so if they have IEP goals or are multilingual learners, that will be a time where they can meet with teachers during that middle chunk of the day, along with those teachers also supporting later on in the day too. And then coming back in the afternoon for some time together with math and science, primarily in the afternoons, and then that open office time. I'm going to move quickly through. Our 3-5 schedule is different because they have 2 instructional blocks in the morning and then 1 instructional block in the afternoon along with the power up. But their open house is next, but also just I know some families are in both, have students in both age ranges. And that instructional difference is just providing that continued time to work in science and to dig deeper. As we know, as students get older, as we all get older and progress through the learning time, we really want to make sure that they have time to dig in and explore each of those topics in much greater detail. But for our kindergarten, first and second grade students, it really is getting that strong foundation of learning, the strong foundation as a reader to really help them as they go. And so in just a second, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Bryant, who's with our central office, to talk about the engagement policy, but also really this quote kind of popped up on one of my boards the other day, yesterday or the day before, and I just dropped it right on in, and it's from Dr. Seuss, and it really is. I love primary grades and early childhood education because it really focuses on reading and learning to read. And just the more you read, the more things you will know, the more you learn, the more places you'll go. And it's such a great book. I think it's a lot of times I've read it at concluding ceremonies for the years and things like that, but this really is one that we want to make sure that, our kids, that we keep you engaged, keep you learning, keep you growing and having fun, and tap it into that curiosity that we know our children come to us with. So I'm going to turn it over here to Ms. Bryant to be able to talk a little bit about the engagement and attendance policy, especially for our K-2 students.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I want to say welcome to any new families that are new to NCCA. And I just want to let you know that it is an honor to work with Mr. Copeland and Ms. Pratt and Ms. Jones and this amazing elementary staff. They are in it they're dedicated to meet the needs of your babies. And, you know, K-2 is such a special age. They want to learn and just very curious. And so I would say you're in very good hands with this staff. My name is Leslie Bryant, as Mr. Copeland said. I work for the district with student services and then also community engagement. And so, as some of you guys may be aware, that we have a new engagement and attendance policy. And so for our K-2 students, we have 2 tiers. And then you will see that with our other students, 3 through 12, we have 3 tiers. And so we truly, the reason that we adopted this, our board adopted this, because we truly, as Mr. Copeland has inferenced, we want to meet the needs of our students. And we understand that at this young age, literacy is the biggest component and factor of your child progressing throughout all subjects throughout their educational career. And so we had this opportunity through FlexPoint and Canvas to create that schedule where the teachers can modify and lessons based in real time to meet the needs of our students. And so when we looked at our previous model, we felt that there were some gaps and we were missing kids, and kids were just falling through the cracks. We weren't able to meet those needs. And so this engagement policy was developed. And so with this, as Mr. Copeland has said, we've got those live lessons that are taking place Monday through Thursday. Your student is with a class, a small class, with the same students, same teacher, creating that community. And so the moderate flexibility, this tier, this year we have a tool called iReady, and all of our students will be taking an assessment. I believe, Mr. Copeland, it will take place for next week and maybe a later time for our kindergarten students, because we know they have to get ready and used to just school in general. But this assessment is basically going to show it's a baseline assessment. There's no preparation for it. Our students take this so we can see where are they at? Where are they at, and what are the gaps that I need to provide instructionally? And so this assessment, based off the results of that, we can see if a child is on grade level. This assessment is also going to help our teachers instruct and filling in those gaps and giving our student goals and progress monitoring them throughout the year. And so when our students take this assessment, those students who the results show they are on grade level. And then throughout the quarter, they are meeting deadlines and they're staying on track. So that is the criteria. You will see on the right side of the screen that the required attendance or engagement. So this says that they have to attend 50% or more of the daily live learning sessions. So if the schedule comes out and they there's 4 throughout the week, then they are required to attend live not in person, but they are to log on and attend this live session 50% or half of those sessions throughout the week. And so the other sessions, so 50%, if we're taking 4 days, 2 of the classes, they will join with live learning. And then 2 of the classes, they will have to watch that recording. And that we're allowing our students to watch that recording up to midnight on Sunday of that week. We're not saying you and your child, especially this age, be up till midnight. We're just giving you the time frame where our week ends. And so our teachers will be taking that attendance. When they see their child in the class, they take that attendance. But if a child is in this moderate flexibility tier, they have until Sunday night to watch the other sessions that they did not attend, those recorded sessions. And so With this being said, that provides you and your family with some flexibility to select the dates. It's also saying if your child wants to attend all 4 live learning sessions, they can. They may want to, and they may like to engage with their teacher and to see their classmates. So they are not restricted to only the 2. They can attend as many as they like, okay? But we do require for students who are in this moderate flexibility, if they are invited to a small group session or tutoring session, or the class is doing a virtual field trip and the teacher has invited them to, they are required to attend. So that is a little bit about our moderate flexibility. And moving on to our traditional class structure, I want you guys to envision if you were going into what we call a brick and mortar school, is the building, 4 walls. If they were to go to school, they would be expected to go into each class, and they would be counted for attendance for that day. So the same thing for this. So the criteria is for our students that their iReady shows that they need additional support to reach grade level proficiency. Or if they do not take this assessment, I do apologize. Or if they do not take this assessment, they will be automatically placed in the traditional class structure. And so what that means is that they have to attend daily live sessions. And attendance is taken if parents, if your child misses a session and they're at a doctor's appointment, or they are sick or whatnot, just like you would in a brick and mortar setting, you will have to submit an excuse or documentation of their absence, and we'll provide this in within the handbook that will be shared with families at the end of this week. And so these students, again, they have to attend all live sessions. That is how their attendance is monitored. Also, again, if the teachers would want them to join an additional small group session, tutoring, or like I said, a virtual field trip, just like every other student, if invited, they must attend. So that is for our students K through 2. This information is also on our website. And then, like I said, when we share the student or district handbook, which is for our students and our parents, you will find additional information regarding our engagement and attendance policy in there as well. So that is, Mr. Copeland, would you like me to share anything? Okay, so yes. So the question might be is, how do I know what tier my child is in? So one of the first assignments that you will see, I know that you guys are trying to create your Canvas courses and access your child's Canvas courses, and then create your own so you can pair and see what they're doing. But one of the first assignments that our students will have to complete is an acknowledgement that they know what engagement tier they have been placed. And so when you go into your student's Canvas account, you look to the left side, you see modules. That first one will be student engagement module. And then within that, you'll see quarter 1, and they'll do this each quarter, is just basically saying they know which engagement tier they are in. And after this, when they click that, we are going to quiz your child and you extensively to see if you know everything about your engagement tier. Continue, Mr. Copeland. And actually, that's not there. So basically, what's going to happen when I say extensively, it is one question.
Yeah.
With only one opportunity to respond. It is either
Which is why I cut it out.
a yes. There's no, it's just yes. So that's about as extensive as we get. Do you know which tier you're in? And because you have that right there, you click yes. That's just to show you know. And by chance, if you forget which tier your child is in, or your student is questioning that, it will be within the grade book that is located on Canvas. So you always have access to view which tier your child is in. And so as a school staff, your staff is going to review each child's performance. And at the next quarter, so the next 9 weeks, they will determine which tier will be the most effective for your child to show growth, to be able to demonstrate proficiency, and to experience success. So that is my session. I want to just bid everybody a good year, a good start of the year. There are many changes and logging on the Canvas. And we just ask for your patience and grace as we are trying to work through those kinks. And hopefully, the first day of school, we just want you here, and we just want you to meet the teachers so they can love on y'all. But my name is Leslie Bryant. I can be found on our staff site. Please email me if you need additional information, and I'll do my best to provide you with that information or to send you to someone who can. So thank you, and have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Bryant. And then I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Jones for a little bit about the process of the logging into Canvas. I know that question has come up too.
All right, logging into Canvas. So in order to log into Canvas, you will go to my NCCA instructure.com with your NCCA Google account credentials. You can also log in through the link installed on your desktop. The link will be just like the one you see on this slide. After signing into Clever, you can also click the link there. Go ahead, Mr. Copeland. Once you log into Canvas, you're going to click on coursework and modules. When you click on coursework and modules, the next slide you will see is your first module for that class. It will be the first assignment. You will take your module 1 pre-test. On the right-hand side, you will see the home button, and that's where your assignments through FlexPoint will be located. How to get into your WebEx education. Mr. Copeland, you want me to keep on?
Yes, please. Yep.
Okay, so you're going to click on the left-hand side with Cisco WebEx. You're going to click that. Once you click that, to find your recordings, you will click on recordings, and then you will click on view recording on the right-hand side under actions.
Right over there.
To join your class, in order to join your class, you will do the same steps. You will click on Cisco WebEx, and then you will click on upcoming, the upcoming tab. To locate the correct date, you will look at the date and time, and then you will click join.
And once a class finishes, the neat thing for those of you who've been with us for a little while, once a class finishes and the recording is posted, it moves over to the recording tab. So you don't have to look anywhere else, and it'll be arranged by the date. And so that is something that is also exciting. So if you know that you missed a specific class, you would just go back. Whoops, sorry, I went back too far. And view the recording for that class, which is really awesome. We're excited about that. So next step, and we know the process, like we talked about before, is new for us for logging into Canvas. And so there's several, like Ms. Jones shared, several different ways. You can click on the student laptop, click that Canvas icon that is there, and it will start to log them in, and then they'll sign in with their Google credentials. Our help desk, and I'll mention that slide here at the end, how to get in touch with the help desk. They are a great resource if you need help resetting your Google account, and you should also be able to reset student accounts once you've with the parent accounts too. So we know at first there will be a couple little pieces as we get into these, but they're also just great tools. And our students, this is an example right here. We don't have time today to get into all the specifics of FlexPoint, but it will load and it will talk with students, interact with them. And that's the fun part that the teachers are going to be working with their classes and their students about. You'll get to know your teachers really well. They won't try to introduce every tool all at once because then it would be too much for all of us. But we're going to introduce tools as we go, introduce resources. And so being active, part of all these live lessons as they kick off, going to be so important to see how it's working, what you need to specifically do, how to go through each of the steps as you go. And again, you're doing this alongside with your teacher as you go and as you work, which is what is exciting for us all as we work together in this. So we are really looking forward to what's going to be happening. So thank you. And the next up we have Miss Pratt, but again, it'll be right there. I know it might be a little challenging. It's to visualize some of where it's going to show up because all the courses have not loaded. They will load at the beginning of next week, but on the left-hand side is that Cisco WebEx, and then it will load both to join the lessons and also to watch the recordings. And there are several other features that your teachers will get into, but we want to kind of keep one way that everybody knows to do to get us started. So I will turn it over to Ms. Pratt to go over some more of the assessments that we have coming up for students this year.
Awesome, thank you. So as it was kind of previously mentioned by Ms. Bryant, the first assessment and or diagnostic will be our iReady assessment. And so that window for elementary begins on the 15th and it runs through the end of the week, which I believe is the 22nd. And so once we get closer to that date, teachers will communicate to families on the day that they plan on taking those iReady diagnostics with students, or the day that students will take them, excuse me. And those will be done virtually. And so, you know, we're kind of, as we are pushing to have more synchronous time with our students, to have that quality instruction, live instruction, that'll be the same with the shift that we're taking with our virtual assessments. And so that iReady diagnostic will be one that students will take in their virtual classroom. And so teachers will utilize the breakout rooms the same way that they were able to be utilized last year with, you know, Google features, and students will take the assessment then. Also, with the curriculum that we're utilizing this year, there's something called DBAs. So you may see them referenced as DBAs or discussion-based assessments, which allow teachers to kind of further gauge students' understanding when it comes to the content. And so they'll schedule times or different things to do to kind of just test or just get an understanding to see if students have a deeper understanding of the content that was being covered during their live instruction. And then, of course, we have the statewide test for third grade BOGs, which is a statewide requirement for all third grade students that is in person. And so I think the biggest thing to remember, and I know it doesn't apply to this audience, but when we're talking about those statewide tests, those are in person. And then, of course, the same with if you have any older students or if you're going to join us for the next session, you have your integrate test as well. All right, so
I muted myself. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
okay.
You got it, Ms. Pratt.
So I guess just in this slide, it's kind of just a welcome to our instructional support staff. So those individuals that help support learning for our students, not necessarily in the whole group setting, but we just wanted to kind of recognize those individuals. So those names listed on this slide, they make up our EC department, and we have Miss McKay, Kaylee Retkin, Teresa Kennedy, Alicia Privet, Mr. Telly Banks, who's joining us new this year, Christy Collins, who serves as the coordinator, and then Katie Witter. And so if you have a student who's EC identified, then you may have already, if they've been with us, have previously worked with one of these individuals. But they're here to support students with just making sure that their needs are getting met in the regular learning environment. And then on this screen, some of these individuals are instructional support, and then we have our student services. So the top group of names, Ms. Welker, Ms. Talley, Ms. White, and then Ms. Driver are instructional support. Ms. Welker and Ms. Talley serve as interventionists, and so they support MTSS, which is a statewide initiative. Ms. White and Ms. Talley are new to us this year. Ms. White will be serving as our MTSS coordinator as well as an interventionist. And then Ms. Driver serves as an instructional assistant. And so she does a little bit of everything. The ladies listed in the second group of names, Ms. Jones, Ms. Griffin, Ms. Harris, and Ms. Parker are our student service / attendance team. And so those will be the ladies that will reach out to you, and you may reach out to regarding your students' tiering. So that was the document that was previously reviewed, as well as if we're having absence concerns or attendance concerns, you'll hear from those individuals. If you are submitting any type of documentation for your student when they are going to be absent, or whether it's planned or unplanned, you may share it with the teacher, and the teacher will forward it on to these ladies. The K-2 counselor is Miss Janice Harris. So Miss Janice Harris is our K-2 counselor, and along with Taisha Jones, those two ladies will support K-2 when it comes to any of the attendance needs. Taisha Jones is also, her role as the social worker. So if there's anything regarding just overall student needs and success outside of the instructional setting, then you're able to reach out to Ms. Jones to support in that capacity. And then we have Mr. Will Miller joining us new this year as well, serving in the elective PE, the PE elective. And then just to kind of start off our instructional teams, this is our kinder team. So we have Ms. Simeon, Ms. Bangelin, and then Ms. Holmes. And I know they're excited to work with our kinder students coming in new to learning, and they're going to be awesome. So those individuals are listed there, and if you haven't had the chance to, you will shortly at some point hear from them. They'll be reaching out. For first grade, we have Ms. Ebron, Dr. Adams, Ms. Green, and then Ms. McKnight. And then for our second grade team, we have Ms. Sutton, Ms. Hayes, Ms. Goodwin, and then Ms. Tharp. So K-2 is super excited, I know, to work with our students coming in. These are, some really critical years, developmental years for students to lay those foundations and build up some of those skill sets so they can be ready when they move or transition into the tested areas. So you guys are definitely in good hands. Students are in good hands with our K-2 team.
And we know for the sake of time, we won't go through all of our third, fourth, and fifth grade staff, but we have a great staff who is extending the learning for our upper grade students. And again, I've been trying to get the questions. I know they've been coming up. A couple have been coming through the Q&A part that we have down there. It's been great. Some of the questions about the observer accounts and when the courses will go live. They will go live on Monday morning, and so they will be there. They'll be published and ready to go. That they will go on Monday morning. And one of the things too, just want to clarify for our students in this group, especially K-2, is you do have that small group opportunity to work with teachers, and you will have one teacher the whole day and all the learning opportunities. For our third, fourth, and fifth grade students, they have multiple teachers, but we know our K-2 students really will have that opportunity to work in depth with that teacher. They will work and schedule those iReady times. Some of you who've been with us before, we said, go do that on your own, some of these assessments. And what we are doing this year is we are going to be with you during those assessments. Students will be in class, they'll be in breakout rooms, being able to take the assessments, still ask questions if they have that. So to communicate and cut down on some of that frustration and build off that schedule of learning and working together and saying, hey, we're going to do this for a couple minutes today, try to work through parts of this, maybe get through most of it, and then come back another time if needed. So we really are excited about that. Another question that I've seen come up through is just about, again, the schedules. And so just just picture kind of coming in at 8:45 on Monday morning. The teachers are sending those out, but just to start trying to log in, if you don't get in right away, there's not a lottery ticket that's going to be going, that's going to be given out right at that time. It's going to be time everybody, it's new for everybody. It was new as we were meeting as a staff. The process was new getting into the meeting. Even the setup that we have for this meeting today is a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be when I set up the room to be able to be set up away. So there are processes that we learn and grow, and we are doing this together. And as we get to that is that part of that willingness to grow, being ready for life, because life's going to throw a lot at us at different times, and really making sure that we have that flexibility, that opportunity to learn and grow and be supportive. We'll help you out. Again, working with the teacher, I saw some things about schedules and different types of pieces. We'll see how it interacts in that personalized part for each student. But we are starting with our K-2 students, just as a district, working on that traditional tier of coming to class each day, getting started in that way to build that, to get those experiences, to get that information in about how are they as a learner, what do they do independently, and how has this virtual learning and how is school going for them. So we want to make sure that we start, as Ms. Bryan shared, with our virtual arms around them. I think giving them hugs, it came up, or it might have been in one of our things that people wanted to give hugs, is that part of really start with all that support around them to get started and to get going, and to know, hey, if it doesn't log in right away, just take a breath and reach out to your teacher. We do have teachers are reaching out through an app that we have called Kimvo, which syncs with PowerSchool, which allows us to send communications, and they hit your phones right away, and they can do things that way with you all, sometimes really quick with things. And so that way you can communicate through that. You can also communicate through email and emailing your teachers. I know some folks who are brand new to us, we've been able to get this out, but not all of your information has loaded into all of our systems, because sometimes they take 24 hours to load. That will be something, or even more than that sometimes, as some of our new teachers have found too. It takes a little bit to get into all the different systems, because there are so many ways that we can support you as you are learning across this state, this great state that we have. So take a breath, just reach out and just say, hey, I'm not able to get in. We can connect you and try to see what we can do, and to work with your teachers. They are learning and growing too, but they are also have had some great experiences doing scavenger hunts and other things along the way to get into this. Please take the time to complete the orientation. I know one thing is different for us. Last year, if you've taken the orientation that we had as an elementary school last year, there were submit buttons and those types of things. If you completed the forms, then they have been submitted. And so they are in, and the district staff has that. So please take the time to complete the orientation and the parent account. And if you have multiple students and children, you do just have to take that orientation one time as a setup for that this year too. And then the last part is, we talked about this technology tool site. So it's on our My NCCA website. You click on resources and then scroll down to technology tools. That is going to be a great place to walk through the steps of getting into Canvas, Clever, PowerSchool. There are so many systems too. We don't want to overwhelm you with that, but just getting started, try getting into Canvas. That will allow you to launch that WebEx, get in with a teacher, and see those other parts, because they'll step you through, because some things may not be right there for you right now, or may not be what the most important thing is. But we really want you to make sure that you are in, connecting with your teacher, really getting that relationship started on Monday morning. Then again, for you all on Monday afternoon again too, and really getting through, and they'll be able to help step through each of those little pieces for you. If you're having software, like just computer just won't turn on, or other types of issues with your school issue laptop, please call our tech support. It's the same number as our enrollment team, but it's just option 2 versus option 1, if I remember right. But just it's the tech support option. Sometimes they do change that. So the tech support option, and that is 888-846-2998. And again, thank you all so much. I know we have some questions in here. The students are going to meet their teachers on Monday morning, and so we really want to make sure that they have that chance to meet their teachers and their students. We know that some of this has also, we got this out to you all. Some people are going to be watching the recording here, But Monday morning and throughout the beginning of the week next week will really be that time to get to meet their teacher, get to see them on there, and get to interact with them. You should also be receiving messages through Kimvo and through the different applications that we have. So please make sure your email is up to date, your cell phone number, because that's where it's kind of hitting to you all there as we're well into the 21st century, but as we move into utilizing the technology tools that we have available to us. So that is all for us today. I think just kind of going through, so PE specific questions, you will be able to work with the PE teacher with that. There are some logging activities that are different, but there's also skill practice, which is exciting. So working on throwing skills, specific skills that may be needed there for PE. So that would be one that Mr. Miller would be able to work with things. And so, it is, and looking at, so much. We are so very excited too. And we know the changes are, they may be a little bit different for some folks, but it is something that we are excited about. They are all focused on how we can best improve the learning outcomes for all of our students. Students still have great flexibility with us. They can log in. We have staff that, and, as I've worked in some of the courses, as I'm traveling, you have the opportunity to travel. As we were meeting together at Raleigh, working on different things as people traveled in and traveled out with that. So it still has tremendous flexibility for our students and families with what we are able to do, and they're able to work in as we go. And so much of this will be able to go as we go and learn as we go and adapt. And again, be patient, have fun, view it as a learning experience for your children. So we are excited with things. If there are, I'm just kind of going through because I know we have our fourth and fifth grade one starting here in just a moment. There is no more Edgenuity. So Edgenuity, your login still may work, but there will not be course content updated there. And the other part is a student cannot get into Canvas. So that would be one. Yeah. So I am not sure who, but maybe try the tech support, and they may be able to walk through and check, and I can check on you with that one too, with things too. So trying to get through the Q&A there with this. So awesome. It depends on the grade level and the section, but there's right around, some of them are 22, 23, and up to 27, I believe. But we are enrolling students as we go. Things do change with this. Awesome. And perfect. So very good. So the myncca.com website, clicking on resources and technology tools will get you to Canvas, Clever, PowerSchool, and if you scroll down, it goes through the steps for each of those. So very good. So thank you all so much. We are looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful year and great things, and I look forward to great stuff. Thank you. Have a great time.